I'm standing below the north approach of the new Harbor Bridge project. You can see the exact point that the approach transitions. We do have the answer tonight as to whose remains these belong to. What we don't have the answer about yet is what happened to Caleb Harris that night early in the morning in March.
You'll recognize this one if you've been to this park before, but what you might not be used to is how much water is inside this park. We're here at Rock and Cave Farms, and if you've ever been here before, you know just how massive this maze is. It takes up 5 acres. Let's take a look from the sky to see just how expansive this maze is.
Now this is one of the hay bales that Stanley creates with his tractor on all of his property here. And he says that on a year that's not as affected by droughts, in this area alone, there's not just 1 hay bale, not 2, not 3, but 4. But not this year. Check this out, I'm at Station 10 right here. They're about to respond to a call right now. It's Thanksgiving Day, and there are no days off for first responders.
With how deep some of the water is right here on the road, you can barely see the street. Now let's take a look over here. Just over on this side, you can see someone literally stuck in their car. We're here at the main entrance where I have Grant with me. He was just about to head inside, and I wanted to get a chance to talk with him just about how exciting it is here on the first day. This cold can be best described as piercing right now. The wind chill that Alan was talking about just a little while ago, you can really feel it as you walk around here. The community of Flower Bluff on edge today as the search continues for 15-year-old Jaden Pelucio. Just moments ago, Robert Simmons got into it with Judge Missimanderi, accusing the state of withholding and even tampering with some of the evidence in the case. Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Schaff in for Brian Burns tonight. We begin tonight with family and friends out at Cole Park this evening, remembering the life of Island University student Caleb Harris. With Biden withdrawing from the presidential race, the big question now is who will replace him as the Democratic nominee. Biden's choice is clear, endorsing Vice President Harris. This is a historic moment, obviously, for the current president and Joe Biden with his decision today. What will this mean for the Democratic Party now that they go through the process of selecting a new nominee? Well, next up, former President Donald Trump posting on social media that he could be arrested this Tuesday. Now let's get a quick check of the weather with Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt. Good morning, Alan. Now they're hoping to get input from teachers, students, and community members about the proposed option. Our Bill Churchwell has reaction for us this morning. The investigation comes as the Biden administration asked for TikTok to be sold or risk a nationwide ban. Now to Memphis, where the police chief has announced that that crime task force at the center of the Tyree Nichols case is disbanding. You know, it was interesting too because you mentioned that there's going to be fog on the water too. I was thinking about, you know, driving into work today, foggy on those roads, but important for people if they're going out on the water, it might stick around, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, certainly feels like the end of winter, that is for sure, Alan. Well, thanks so much for that, and that wraps up First Edition this morning. Good Morning America's up next. For Alan Holt, I'm Brandon Schaff. Thanks for starting your day with us.
Not bad compared to 2011 and 12 and 13. I was this close to selling all my cows in 2012.
So in that time span, you almost had to completely stop doing what you're doing.
Well, just right there, just then. So this is one of the things you fix it so you're not left high and dry.
Rancher Stanley Wolfel tends to more than 10,000 acres across Clayburgh and Kennedy County. He says he's seen worse drought conditions over the last several decades, but this summer is already bringing with it its fair share of problems.
Well, normally during the summer we don't get as dry as we are right now. This is just extra dry.
The land he's standing on is covered in hay used to feed cattle, which will eventually head to auction and then become our food. But without enough rain, that process gets disrupted.
And if you get 1.5 inches of rain every 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, it won't be this dry, it'll be green.
Now this is one of the hay bales that Stanley creates with his tractor on all of his property here. And he says that on a year that's not as affected by droughts, in this area alone, there's not just 1 hay bale, not 2, not 3, but 4. But not this year.
We try to feed as little as possible because you can't make very much money raising cattle and buying hay to feed them. That's why this this hay right here, I'm not buying this.
Stanley says he has at least 500 hay bales stored for these situations, as drought conditions dry out large areas of Kingsville that Stanley's watched over the last 70 years. He says he has no plans to stop.
Because I love it, I like it. Driving this tractor and baling this hay, I'd rather be doing this than sitting in front of the television watching a ball game.
Brandon Schaff, 3 News.
Check this out, I'm at Station 10 right here. They're about to respond to a call right now. It's Thanksgiving Day, and there are no days off for first responders.
For everybody at home, it's a holiday here for us at the station, and this is our second family.
Thomas Cruz is the captain of Station 10, one of the busiest CCFD stations in the city. He said in one 24-hour shift, they respond to an average of 15 to 20 calls for their fire engine and almost 30 for their ambulance. Needless to say, Thanksgiving can keep them even busier.
It's at least a call every hour on the hour, and they stay very, very busy.
Allison Vasquez is the newest firefighter at Station 10, graduating from the academy earlier this year. While answering a question about her favorite part of the job,
just being here with good guys, they make it a really family-oriented place to be. So
it was time to head out again. This is Vasquez's first time working Thanksgiving, getting valuable experience. But she's making the best of working the holiday.
it's different, definitely, because I'm usually spending it with family. But being here with the guys at the station, it doesn't really change much because they're like family to me as well.
Cruz said it's the norm for them to celebrate with their families either before or after Thanksgiving. He said family members will come to the station later to eat with them, just like they're at home.
Our doors are always open, so families tend to stop by. They'll drop pies, they'll eat desserts, however much time we have with them.
Brandon Schaff, 3 News. And good evening, Leslie. And I checked back in with Station 10, and as of 4 o'clock today, they responded to 10 calls for an ambulance and 8 for their fire engine, right on pace for what they usually see at such a busy station. Leslie. As the sea turtle release season begins, Amos Rehabilitation Keep in Port Aransas is getting some much-needed relief.
This weekend is definitely going to free us up to be able to take in more turtles.
A recent loggerhead sea turtle stranding event left experts with more questions than answers, and barely enough space to fit new turtles that need care. But they say they're not worried about dangerous water conditions or illegal fishing that previously delayed any sea turtle releases.
Everything what we've seen currently right now, it is safe for them to go back out. Whatever happened to them happened before they stranded, and it happened probably a while before.
And you can see this girl swimming right behind me. She's one of the KIII-TV Ridley turtles that's going to be released this Saturday. And just because of how active she is when she's swimming around, that's a really good sign because it means that she's ready to get back into her natural habitat.
Every release is so special. You never get sick of seeing these turtles get to go free. So it's really special, but it's also a little bittersweet. You worry about them out there.
The Ark will release 10 Saturday morning, including loggerheads, KIII-TV Ridleys, and green sea turtles. Dr. Donna Shaver says the KIII-TV Ridley turtles being preserved around the coastal bend need that care to survive. And for the families that get to see the sea turtle releases, it can create a lifelong memory.
It really is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the public, and we will get people that plan their vacations here from all around the world just for the chance to see these KIII-TV Ridley turtle hatchlings.
Sea turtle hatchlings will be released at the Padre Island National Seashore Saturday morning at 6:45 a.m. Those rehabilitated at the Ark will be released at mile marker 30 of Mustang Island Beach later that morning at 10 a.m. 3 News will have the coverage of that this weekend. Brandon Schaff, 3 News.